Welcome back for another video on gravel cycling. So, you got your gravel bike, or maybe you're planning to get one. Maybe you already have some gravel events under your belt, or maybe you're planning to do some. But how does a gravel bike compares against mountain bikes on mountain bike type of events? To find out, I registered to the Orbea Monegros, one of Spain's largest mountain bike mass events. Now this video will cover the run-up to the event with the preparation of my bicycle and the setup of the bike and the race itself. Now if you're only interested in the action, you can skip ahead and go directly to the race. Otherwise, stay tuned because some of the tips I have collected might help you on the moment you are going to prepare for such an event. Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more of these videos. Now without any delay, let's jump right in. So the race has a length of 105.9, 106 basically kilometers, with a total accumulated elevation of 1,120 more or less meters. The race profile is rather simple compared to other events I've joined, with kilometer 29.6. That's where the main climb and the only big climb starts. It's probably a 10 kilometers long climb. It's not super steep, however the terrain is all unpaved, and so it's very likely that less experienced or slower riders, at least slower uphill, they tend to slow down significantly, and so there are always jumps of people that stops or slow down and faster riders behind that try to go through. Now something significant to keep in mind with this race is that the exit to the initial town where the event starts and the trail leading to the area proper where the event will take place is quite narrow, and so we are talking about a mass events of 8,000 to 10,000 riders, and so what typically happens is that a bunch of people will try to pass and pass fast. The other thing to note is that the last say 15 flat kilometers, while easier because they are flat, they are not so easy because the terrain is really hard, with some sections that are really bumpy, and so the feeling on your body is definitely not a positive one. I will be racing with my gravel bike, a Lauf Seigla with a front suspension. Let's go take a look what the bike setup is. So here is the bike I will be racing with. A gravel bike, however, it has front suspension, which I will definitely need being a mountain bike race. This is a Lauf's unique front suspension. I guess the bike is very comfortable. I will definitely enjoy these 44C tires, will be great. I have sealed them last week, they fit great. I can now ride them at relatively low pressure. I guess the only thing that I am not 100% sure about is the gearing. This bike has a 1044 in the back and a 40 chainring, single chainring in the front. The cassette in the back, the larger option I have is a 44, and so I have been contemplating the possibility of installing a 1050 on the back, a SRAM Eagle one, which seems to be working on this type of setup basically. So yeah, that should improve the situation. However, the bad news is that while I have ordered the new cassette, it probably won't get here in time for me to install it before the race. So let's see in the end whether I will be racing with a 1044 or not. I'm prepared to race with the 44 if it comes to that. I guess what I'm afraid about is being stuck on the 44 and then I need to stand on the pedals to kind of torque more and push the bike up. However, I have somebody in front, of people in front, and in that case it might be very difficult. So with a 50 I'm imagining I could just sit back and kind of spin my bike while I remain seated. Now I am going to keep the aero bars. The reason being, I find this position for my bike computer to be the best. It has the right inclination, that's really you know, the right distance from my face when I pedal and such, and I really depend on the fact that I'm going to attach things to it. I will definitely count on the aero bars for the last 20-25 kilometers push before the arrival. So here we are with 3 days to go before driving to Huesca province and the town of Sariñena for the Orbea Monegros. I have been tapering and taking it very easy, or as easy as I could, over the last week or so. I have done that race before on a hardtail mountain bike, and my feedback was it could be done with a gravel bike. That was the year 2019. A lot of huge changes in the gravel niche of the cycling industry have happened. Certainly the suspension in the front, but there is another news. Finally, behold, the mullet is here. It's my first test ride with this huge plate, and I have some feedback. It's probably something I'll devote another video to, but the feeling is great for what I needed, which is climbing comfortably in steep rocky parts where there is a good potential of having slow riders in front of me. There are, however, a lot of gear jumps I felt I needed, because there is a pretty narrow path for this race. I am worried of having to pedal uphill on loose rocks with a 50. This is a SRAM Eagle 1050 12 speed, replace the 1044 12 speed I had before from SRAM. Also will definitely give me the possibility of climbing, remaining seated and comfortable until I can, you know, shift down a bit and gain some speed. I was able to install it by keeping the rear derailleur, which is really what I wanted, because I'm not planning to use this 1050 always, just for a specific situation that demanded, such as this one. I only had to replace the chain and put a SRAM Eagle chain for 12 speed, which it does its job. I've been, you know, testing the shifting a lot up and down this morning, and I hope you can see it's really just on the edge of being too stretched, but it does work, I guess. Okay, so I've shifted to the 50 so you can get a sense of the stretch position of the rear derailleur. It does work, but it's really on the edge. You can also see I have been installing some frame bags. The bike packing rig is slowly taking place, but that's something for another video. I will not having the frame bag on me. I will have the top tube one, yes. I will have a backpack with hydration, because the race happens in the desert of the Monegros. Last year it seems there was not a lot of water available, at cool water anyway, in the aid areas. Due to my nature, I like to always go prepared. When I did the race in 2019, I had water to spare, so I'm not really worried about that, but still I rather have a backpack over too many bike bags. T-2 days to the Orbea Monegros. How am I feeling? Good. It's the second time I'm gonna do this race. I have done it with a mountain bike before. That gives me a big boost of confidence. The weather though is gonna be very different than the first time. This time is gonna be cooler, significantly cooler. Temperatures seem like gonna be less than 20 Celsius, with a potential for rain, which is I love mud, though there is very little mud here where I live, but I love, cyclocross and mud, and so it will definitely turn this race into something of a muddy disaster, I think. So the bike is here, it's ready. I'm eating some pasta, 1 hour and a half to go. The day is like really bad for Spain. More gravel bikes than I thought. Here's my hydration bag, which I bring from trail running. Here is the mullet, ready for action. Isotonic and carbs and several gels. 2019, it was very hot. Today it won't be like that, but yeah, as long as the feet stays dry.
Paseando en esta Orbea Monegros 2024. ¡Vamos ahí!
See, this is what I meant when I said that it's really narrow, it's not easy to pass people. Venga, venga. Izquierda. Izquierda. So we have 30 Ks in. I didn't really want to stop. I'm at the feed station, but everybody stopped in front of me, so I lost my pace. Very muddy. It's like a dirty Orbea, which is the best. Here are my feet. Very cold at the beginning, now it's fine. We are at the beginning of the toughest climb. I won't stop to refuel now because I have a bunch of stuff with me and I am well hydrated. So this is why I've installed a 50. So we are at 32.3 kilometers. It just got sort of sunny, relatively warm. It's not raining anymore, obviously, and I don't think it will rain again, but it's Monday. Very windy here. Got rainy again, though I said it wouldn't probably rain anymore, but it did. So I'm very hungry. There is the next feed station, the second one, in 8 kilometers, 7 maybe. Lots of mud. The bike is super filthy. I love filthy bikes. I am at the second feed zone. I didn't stop at the first. I'm stopping here. I need to eat something. It's raining hard. It's been raining before the start, so there's mud, and it's been raining since the first climb, basically. That's good though, because if it wasn't rainy and muddy, it would be full of dust, so you gotta choose which one you prefer. Bike, okay. Yeah, I mean, let's take a peep to the bike. So I had something to eat. I feel better. 45k left. That's not too bad, and the last part, the second half of this 45k is flat. So now I don't think I'll stop again, and yeah, heavy rain, so I want to go. Feel way better after eating. So there's been a police siren in the back. I'm not sure what's going on. It's been a while already. I don't know if it's to warn riders to be careful, because there is a lot of mud now that the rain has increased. I don't know, not that they're coming. It's a car, could be an ambulance anyway. It's really really muddy now, like there's mud everywhere on my legs and my shoes. There are, I guess, 34 k's to go, 35 maybe. I'm looking forward to some flat bar to go in the aerobus. Okay, better close. There's 20 and something, 25 maybe, something like that left.
has greatly improved. It's sunny, I took off my windbreaker, and yeah, I had more food at the last feed station, so pretty toast. I'm looking forward to a beer and some pasta, or something else, but beer please. So I have just finished. I am kind of having the post-race high, so sorry if I speak slowly. I also did not gather enough energy to go get some food and some beer, which tells you how tired I am. I wanted to leave some feedback on the issue of doing this mountain bike race with a gravel bicycle and the type of gravel bicycles I saw. So once again, Orbea Monegros is a very famous, very established, large mass race for mountain bike from Orbea, which is I guess Spain's main bike manufacturer, and they do pretty good bikes. They do road bikes, mountain bike, gravel, etc. So, but this is an event that has been, this is the 22nd edition, I think, and so, you know, 22 years ago, gravel didn't really exist, not in the way it does today, and so they cannot suddenly say, okay, now Orbea Monegros is a gravel race. It isn't, obviously, particularly because what Orbea did was creating another event called Orbea La Rioja Alavesa or something like that, that happens in October. I was supposed to do it last year, but then I couldn't because I was recovering from a triathlon race. And so that gravel race from Orbea this year will be, this year being 24, in its third edition. The first one was like promoted by Miguel Indurain. I checked the route closely. I was close to going last year, but in my view it isn't sufficiently technical for somebody who likes technical challenges on the bike rather than looking at vineyards. Spain has some fantastic vineyards. The problem is I see them every time I go out riding where I live. So it didn't have the same kind of appeal to me as the Orbea Monegros, that is a technical race, not too difficult, but it's tiring for sure. I mean, it's really tiring. So yeah, I mean, like, this explains a bit, you know, how gravel is developing in Spain, and why this race is still a mountain bike race, and why there are gravel bicycles nonetheless. Anyway, to the point, there were more gravel bicycles than I thought there would be. Last time I did this race with a mountain bike, there were very few gravel bicycles. There were some, but very few. It's hard to say whether at the time those who opted to do it with a gravel bike, they did it because they believed in whatever it is, the gravel philosophy, if there is one, whatever. I don't want to enter into that. Or because maybe it's the only bike they had. It's maybe a road bike that they adjusted a bit and such. Anyway, I think, like, with all the footage I have recorded today, you will see a number, though I guess like every maybe 20 to 25 bicycles being mountain bike, one of these was a gravel bicycle. Maybe consider one every 20, but definitely no more. But consider that this is a mass event. There are, I guess, 10,000 people joining, so it's, if you do the math, it's really, it amounts to quite some. Different brands, of course. I had the only Lauf. Anyway, one interesting thing is that I was on the only gravel bicycle I saw with a front suspension, which is very interesting considering that large parts of the terrain, as you will see in the footage, is very technical. The only one with a front suspension. I even didn't see any hybrid bikes with a front suspension. So that's interesting, because I am a strong believer in the choice I made when I got a gravel bicycle with a front suspension. And again, I tested both. You can once again go back and check. I don't know if I will come here with a rigid gravel, or you can obviously, but like, it's gonna be highly uncomfortable versus doing it with a suspension version. Go figure. Some other comments. The mallet, did I need it? Yes. So I'm glad I put it, because Well, in the toughest climb, it did happen as I anticipated, that some riders maybe not so experienced or maybe carrying you know, a heavier weight, or maybe they are not good climbers, they kind of slow down significantly. And so if you're climbing well, keeping your pace, you really don't want to have to kind of suddenly stop or lose your pace. For my weekly rides, for training rides, I will go back to the 1044 because I don't like, in the Eagle 1050, I don't like some jumps, some gear jumps that there are in the middle. And so when you are riding at speed, I feel some jumps sometimes. But because I don't ride in a peloton, or in a big one anyway, so it's fine, I guess. In situations like this, where there are difficult climbs that you are not familiar with, you might get stuck because either weather or road conditions or slower riders. It's much better to have extra ammo, so to speak. Now, I have a big ultra coming up in September, the Badlands in southern Spain. I will definitely do it with a 1050 because there's gonna be a humongous amount of climbs, and I don't think it's really worth it to even consider doing it with a 44. The tires were I have the stock tires, the Maxxis what is it, Rambler, I forgot the name, that came with the bike, the stock ones. Very good, zero issues, very in control all the time, in fast turns and everything. Really happy with the tires. I ran them tubeless, just to be clear. I'm not exactly sure, the pressure maybe was like around 25 psi or something like that. If you have a gravel bicycle, go out and ride it. If you don't have and you are thinking of buying it, buy it. But you know, consider well whether you should get a front suspension or not.
And that's it for today. I hope you liked this video and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching and see you on the trail.